Hi everyone, this is Hilary and I'm going to be talking/presenting about our presentation, which is, as you can see, the Jones model is the focus of our presentation today. And I did my presentation with my fellow members Melissa and Megan. Alright, let's move to the second slide. Alright, so we're just going to do a brief introduction of who is the maker of this method that we're doing our presentation on. Frederick Jones is the creator of the classroom management program that we're going to be doing today, and he has like a number of them that he makes. They're called Positive Classroom Discipline, Positive Classroom Instruction, and then he has another one that's called Teaching Tools. And the focus of our presentation today is going to be on his classroom discipline methods and how to instruct them. And as you can see, he is a psychologist from UCLA, and he's done a great number of his work through UCLA. Alright, moving along. So what is the Jones model? The Jones model is a discipline method that tries to do as much of an impact on classroom behavior in a small enough of a space. So for example, the Jones method is like trying to do like physical, more of like a physical type of management, like while you're talking to another student needs your help, you would just hold up a finger and say wait, using that verbal cue, and then you could still continue talking and helping that student that you were previously, so you can do two classroom methods at the same time. So this model encompasses four basic components, as we have written here. Properly structured classrooms. A big part of the Jones model has to do with how are students sitting in their desks, how are you going to be able to move around and interact with your students, and then as well as rules and restrictions and routines. The second one is learning to control that classroom with appropriate strategies and stated limits. A great deal of the Jones model has to say that rules need to be stated. You can't just say, oh, you'll be punished if you break a rule. It has to be very direct, like what punishments fit this transgression and so on. The third one is fostering cooperation within the classroom. We want to have a classroom that everybody works together to succeed. And then providing appropriate backup methods. If the discipline method in the original model doesn't work, what else can we do to keep that authority and properly manage our classroom? Okay, next slide. So how is the Jones model implemented? The model provides guidance for these following aspects of the classroom. And as you can see, the list is pretty long, so it covers a lot of aspects of the classroom and everyday teaching and classroom life. So classroom rules and routines, seating arrangements like I talked about earlier, student-teacher relationships, fostering a positive relationship between teacher and student rather than like an authoritarian position, which we all want to be not really friends with our students, but we want to, have that respect, but without it being, like a evil political figure that apparently some people think of their teachers this way. Instructional strategies, limit setting, like I said earlier about the rules, and I'll go into depth about it later. Promoting responsibility, trying to get our students to be autonomous rather than us having to tell the same rules over and over and over. Although it is kind of you're going to have to teach the rules eventually throughout the year, especially in a younger classroom, like the one pictured in this picture. Okay, and moving along. How does the Jones model work? According to the Jones model, it promotes student growth while maintaining teacher support. So, of course, making sure that both the student and the teacher have those supports and a method to follow rather than just kind of assuming responsibility for the student and not the teacher, or vice versa. The method makes a specific role for the student, but the teacher mainly has the leader role. And for for rewards, the Jones model recommends things as art or having a movie and such, rather than relying on more like technological, expensive basics. Moving along, we're going into distinct aspects of the Jones model. Without clearly stated limits, students attempt to test boundaries, and that is basically the whole format of the Jones method. We need to have these standards, we need to have these routines, we need to have these guidelines down so that students know, especially at a young age, how far they can go, what kind of behavior is appropriate, what can we do within our classroom to be a positive learner and a member of the classroom with our classmates. And like I said earlier, that a lot of the teaching within the first 2 weeks is going to be devoted to doing these rules and routines and standards. I know that in my experience with the younger children, the students really like those routines so that they know, oh, after math time I need to go and get my reading book, and then after that I'm allowed to go to the bathroom during this certain time, and so they know exactly when to do things and how they could do things. So yeah, just what is my role as a student? We need to have that dialogue between student and teacher. And yeah, okay, moving along. So here's an example of a Jones model seating arrangement. The document that we viewed for this presentation included a number of these, but I personally, as you can see by this horrible drawing, tried to make an attempt of a classroom space. The teacher's desk is near the back, and the whiteboard is near the front, and the teacher occupies most of the front of the space, conducting the lessons, and the students are kind of grouped in these little pods, such and such. And you can, of course, you can use more of tables rather than desks if that's what's available. Kind of going into detail about this seating arrangement, students who tend to have behavioral problems and disruption, they tend to sit themselves near the back, so the Jones method wants you to put them into little groups and make sure that seats are assigned rather than the students get to pick, because then that creates further problems. You want to make sure that the teacher can get to every desk quickly and easily, and there's not tripping over desks or such and such. Moving along. Alright, so the pros are, this model is based on student-teacher relationship and trust, so that's a big basis of this model, is that both of them are working together towards a specific goal. Here's a quote from the article that we read. Okay, and which I thought was particularly good about this model is that the Jones model wants you to remain calm and retain that sense of authority and peacefulness, because you are the adult and they are the students, and you ultimately have control. And so this model kind of emphasizes that that is an important aspect of classroom management, really. And these are some preventative actions for disruptive behaviors. I'll just put them all out here. You're keeping a...
Snap, you need to come outside today.
Sorry for that interruption. Okay, and then you're doing picture prompts to reinforce the not only management but the classroom, and then use the short activity to kind of reinforce what they've learned. And this is kind of the good foundation for a good classroom management. Moving along. Or not. Okay, moving along. Okay, so the cons to this presentation include, and this is what my group members and I have really discussed, is that a certain level of intimidation and power is used in the Jones model. When a student is disrupting the classroom, you're going to use kind of eye contact, which staring down your student. Some might not really like that. People might want to not assume this kind of intimidating stance with their student rather than, more of a comfortable dialogue. And yeah, in the method, it prompts you to go and stand next to the student and stay there until they start working again. And then there's methods of what do you do if they don't keep working. Yeah, give a direct prompt and such. And then I've just, I and my group members agree that we just find this kind of to be kind of old fashioned, and that this kind of like intimidation method might not work best in current classrooms. Like, I don't know if a principal would be okay with you using this. It might just be my opinion, but I don't know. So we're moving along. So, in summary, the Jones model is a method that works with both internals and external motivators. You want students to have a sense of responsibility and take control of their actions and how much and whether they learn. And then the preferred activity time is kind of like their reward for good behavior. And students earn and lose minutes based on their behavior. And this is like a collective thing. And teacher and student orientated. Teacher has power and should be respected, but the students should be given trust and freedom to make their own decisions. So, using this prompt scenario, Claire and Jessica continually disrupt classes by talking to neighbors, yelling across the room, and throwing objects at other students. Using the Jones method, we would remind Claire and Jessica about the classroom rules, using that eye contact that is firm in the Jones model. Rearrange the seating arrangements, as discussed earlier, to keep the two talkers away. Pull each of the students out one at a time and talk to them about what we have decided as a class is the student's role and why we should change our behavior. And then try to keep that dialogue between student and teacher open so that they can respect their teacher and understand, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't be talking and throwing things at other students because I'm trying to be a good student. Okay, so for those interested in future research, I have included a couple of links. We have included a couple links. We've got a video lecture, a high school classroom, and how they use the Jones model, and the Jones's website, so you can, purchase his teaching methods if you really want to. And then these are our works cited, as you can see. Thank you for viewing our presentation. I'll go back and hold on the links in case you want to type them down and write them for future reference. But thanks, everyone. Okay, bye.